In this lesson, we will be adding and subtracting decimals. Our goal is to apply and extend previous understandings of numbers to add and subtract decimals. Let's start with addition. So adding decimals, we're going to use models here. So if I have 1 whole and 25 thousandths, and I'm adding 1 and 37 thousandths to that, how much is my total? Well, in order to do that, I can use manipulatives to see that, well, I have 2 wholes, and I have, these represent tenths, so that's 5 tenths, so 2 wholes and 5 tenths, and then the smallest units represent hundredths. And of course you can make these units represent one another in different ways. But I noticed that I have 12 hundredths. So within that group of 12, I can see that I have an entire group of 10 here. So of course when I put those together, I get a tenth. So my grand total becomes 6 tenths and 2 hundredths. And of course in your notes you'll write that a little differently. So when I add 1 and 25 hundredths and 1 and 37 hundredths, my grand total is 2 and 6 tenths, 2 hundredths, so that's 2 and 6 hundredths. So that's how we can add with models. Subtracting decimals. Subtracting decimals, of course, we use all of our same rules of when we're borrowing and using all those strategies of subtracting whole numbers, but with manipulatives, it's a little bit different. We can take our little base 10 blocks, manipulatives, and we can break them up into smaller pieces. So here we have 24 hundredths, and I'm taking away 18 hundredths. So in order to take away 18, I need to take away 1 whole, or sorry, I have no wholes. I need to take away 1 tenth. Now I need to take away 8 hundredths. Well, I only have 4 hundredths here. So that means I have to take this piece and break it down into smaller units. So now I can do that here. So now I have 1 tenth, and now I have 14 hundredths. So I can easily take away 1 tenth, and I can take away 8 hundredths. So I can then see what I have left. Well, when I look at what I have left, I have, let me move my manipulatives over so we can see a little bit better. So now I've crossed off 8 hundredths and 1 tenth, and what I'm left now is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hundredths. And how I'm going to write that is 0 wholes, 0 tenths, and 6 hundredths. So that's how we can use our manipulatives. Now let's look at some larger numbers where we're not going to necessarily be using manipulatives. So let's look at this problem. Shopping. The price of a pair of jeans is $27, and the price of a shirt is $16.95. What is the total cost of the pair of jeans and the shirt? So when we look at this problem, what we really need to look at is, what do we need to do? Do we need to add, subtract, multiply, divide, something else? What is it? Well, total is a good indication that we are going to be adding. So we're going to be adding 27 plus 16.95. And I know that because, of course, to find the total cost of items, I, of course, add them together. So a good strategy is to line up decimals. If you don't have a decimal, then you need to put it at the end of the number. So we line up the decimals, and in 4th grade you might have had a teacher who put a little dotted line down the middle. That's fine. And we can hold our spot with a 0 wherever we have a blank to fill in our decimals. So now we can just add as usual. Keep our decimal point the same. So we have 95 cents. And then, of course, we have 7 plus 6. And just 13, carry the 1. And 4. So my total cost is $43.95 for the pair of jeans and the shirt, before tax, of course. We'll get into later how to calculate tax on things like this. Moving on, refreshments. A glass of juice costs $2.79, and a bottle of water costs $1.85. How much more does the juice cost than the water? So in this problem, anytime we see how much more, we're really looking at finding the difference. So we know that this is a subtraction problem. So we have a glass of juice. So we want to know how much more the juice over the water. So I know that I'm going to subtract my glass of juice first, which is $2.79. 79 cents. And then the water is going to come second, which is $1.85. So in this problem, again, I have to make sure my decimals are aligned. I'm going to bring down my decimal and write it really big for you. And then I'm going to subtract. So now I have to do some borrowing at some points in this problem. 9 minus 5 is 4. 7 minus 8, I need to knock on my neighbor's door and borrow. Good old elementary rules still apply. And 17 minus 8 is 9. 1 minus 1 is 0. So that would be 94 cents more. So the juice is 94 cents more than the water. Moving on to another situation. So looking at this problem, this one requires multiple steps. Scavenger hunt. You are in a 3-part scavenger hunt. Your friend's team completes the game in 80 and 65/100ths minutes. Your team's times for each part of the game are 22 and 35/100ths minutes, 25 and 8/10ths minutes, and 30 and 15/100ths minutes. Which team has a faster time? How much faster? Explain. So first thing we need to know is what's the difference between my team and my friend's team in this problem. But in order to do that, I need to add up all of my times to see. So I'm going to find out what my total amount of time is. That would be 22 and 35/100ths, 25 and 8/10ths. Again, align those decimals. And I can hold my spot with a 0 for any missing blanks that I need to fill in. And 30 and 15/100ths minutes. So these are what I'm going to be adding together. Again, I can bring down my decimal. So I'm adding 5 plus 0 plus 5, which is 10. Carry the 1. And 1 plus 3 plus 8 plus 1, which is 13. Carry the 1. And 1 plus 2 plus 5, which is 8. And 2 plus 2 plus 3, which is 7. So my time for my team was 78 and 30/100ths. So 78 and 3/10ths is another way of looking at it. So which team has a faster time? So did I win or did my friend win? Well, my friend's team was 80 and 65/100ths. So that means it took them more time to complete the scavenger hunt, because a longer time means it's going to take them longer. So I beat my friend, but we're friends, so I won't rub it in her face. But I am the one who won. So my team has a faster time, so I know the first part. I'm going to circle that in yellow, which I've done for you. Now I'm going to find out the difference. I want to know how much faster my team was over my friends. Again, I'm not going to rub it in her face or anything, but I just want an exact answer. So now I need to find the difference. 5 minus 0 is 5. 6 minus 3 is 3. And 0 minus 8 I can't do without getting negatives, so I need to use my elementary rules, knock on my neighbor's door, borrow a 10. 10 minus 8 is 2. And of course 7 minus 7 is 0. So my team was 2 3/35 minutes faster than my friend. So, friend. There we are. So now I have my response. I've explained that my team was 2 3/35 minutes faster. Keep in mind, that's not 2 minutes and 35 seconds faster, which is what I almost accidentally said. This is 2 3/35 of a minute, because remember, minutes are different. They're on a base 60 system instead of a base 10. So I hope that helps you. Now I want you to try some problems on your own. So now I want you to take a minute to look through these problems and try them on your own. So we have 3 problems. 2 of them are addition. One's a multiple step addition, and one is subtraction. So go ahead and take a minute to pause the video, write down your guided practice problems, and of course, these are going to be part of our number talks come tomorrow. Now I want you to take a minute to look over your notes. Make sure you have all the right information. And I'm actually already seeing an error on my notes that I'm going to fix. I put the friend's team was faster by mistake. My team was faster than my friend's by 2 minutes and 35 seconds. So make sure your notes aren't exactly like this. And then, of course, don't forget any questions, main ideas, keys, and summaries. Go ahead and take a minute to check over your notes now. So great job on all your hard work today. Again, make sure you have all the information you need and you're practicing those guided practice problems. And remember, tomorrow come ready to discuss them. So just in case adding and subtracting decimals lowered your sugar at all, go ahead and have a nice, light, healthy snack. And great job again.